So now we will see another type of problem, the third type of problem in this case. So we have seen the underimposed beam, we have seen the balance section, we have seen when the superimposed load is supposed to be permitted, the point load is supposed to be permitted, and now we will see another type of problem over here which can be asked. Now a simply supported beam, RCC beam, 230 mm wide by 450 mm effective depth is provided with 2 Tor 20 mm plus 1 Tor 16 mm bars as tensile reinforcement. Please note, in this case we have 2 bars of 20 mm plus 1 bar of 16 mm. So there is a combination of two diameters which have been provided. All this while we were either given the area of steel or we were given only one single type of diameter. Now in this case two different diameters have been given, two different combinations have been given, 2 bars of 20 mm and 1 bar of 16 mm has been provided as tensile reinforcement. If the effective span of the beam is 4.5 meters, it is a simply supported beam with effective span as 4.5 meters. Determine the magnitude of two working loads placed at 1 meter from either supports. So from either supports, from both the supports at a distance of 1 meter, point loads have been provided. Concrete used is M20 grade and steel is Fe415. Assume effective cover as 50 mm. As usual, what we do is we compile the data, we put all the data together. So the solution data is width is 230 mm, depth, the effective depth is 450 mm. The area of steel has 2 bars of 20 mm diameter plus 1 bar of 16 mm diameter. We have M20 concrete and Fe415 steel. The effective span is 4.5 meters. Simply supported beam, effective cover is 50 mm. To find point loads at 1 meter from either supported end. Now please note, all this while we have been discussing about the analysis of the beams. How does one understand which is an analysis problem and which is a design problem? No sooner, no sooner the section, that is width and the depth, maybe the overall depth or the effective depth, is given first thing, and the type of, the amount of steel is given, the amount of steel provided, and the type of section, that is B and D, these are given. Obviously we are asked to find its capability. In design problems, these are the parameters which we try to find out, which we try to give to the section in design, which we will be looking at later. In analysis type of problems, B, D and AST is given to us, either directly, indirectly, whatever, it is given to us. Also the other parameters which are given to us is the grade of concrete and the grade of steel. So having looked at that, we understand that this also is a analysis problem. Now analysis problem, we start with the first step. Calculate value of XU by D from IS 456 2000 G 1.1a page 96. XU by D is equal to 0.87 F by AST upon 0.36 FCK BD. Given that XU by D is equal to 0.87, Fy is 415, AST. Now look at this. Since it is a combination over here, area of two bars, area of a circle, so 2 into pi by 4 into d square, 2 into this comes to 314, so area comes to 628. Area of 1 bar of 16 mm, which is also circular, so 1 into pi by 4 into 16 square, so that comes to 201. Now we have been told that it's a combination of this as well as this, so total area would be 628 plus 201. Total becomes 829 mm square. Please note that whenever we have combinations like this, they are always provided symmetrical in the section. So it may be that 2 bars of concrete, 2 bars of 20 would be at the sides, and 1 bar of 16 would be sitting in the middle. Now over here 829 is the area of steel, 0.36 FCK comes down as it is, B is 230 and D is 450. Solving this, we get XU by D as 0.40. Going to the next step. Next step is check the value of XU max by D from IS 456 clause 38. Note, it has been given on page number 70. For Fe415, XU max by D is 0.48. So now over here XU max by D is 0.48 and XU by D is 0.40. So XU by D, the actual depth of neutral axis to the effective depth, is lesser than XU max by D. XU by D 0.40 is less than XU max by D, which is 0.48. So which means in step number 4 we understand that the beam is under reinforced section. Now if it is under reinforced section, use IS 456 2000 clause G 1.1b page 96 to get the value of ML. This we have already seen earlier. So that's the formula which we have. Now 0.87 comes down as it is, Fy as it is, AST which we have calculated, effective depth is 450, put a bracket 1 minus AST is 829 which we have already calculated, Fy is Fe415, B is 230, D is 450 and the grade of concrete is 20. So solving this we get the ultimate moment. The ultimate moment of resistance is 112.30 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. So with these parameters we get the ultimate moment of resistance as 112.30 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. So moment of resistance we get ultimate moment of resistance divided by the load factor which is 1.5. So 112.30 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm divided by 1.5 gives me the moment of resistance is 74.87 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. Now this 74.87 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm is converted to kilonewton mm by dividing by 1000 for Newton and dividing by 1000 for mm, that is Newton to kilonewton, mm to meters, dividing by 1000 and another 1000. So 74.87 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm becomes equal to 74.87 kilonewton meter. So moment of resistance is 74.87 kilonewton meter. Now what we have been given as a task over here is to find the point load which can be applied at 1 meter from either supports. From the left support also 1 meter and from the right support also 1 meter. There are 2 point loads which are equal in nature, which are applied at 1 meter from both the supports. Now let us understand which are the different loads acting on the beam. As per our understanding of the problem, the loads acting on the beam are its own self weight and the point loads, the 2 point loads at 1 meter from the either ends. Other than this, there is no other load which is acting on the beam. Now bending moment from the self weight is UDL over the entire span. It is a uniformly distributed load over the entire span because it is homogeneous, it is isotropic. It is isotropic, so the cross section remains same throughout. UDL applied over the entire span for a simply supported beam is having the maximum bending moment at the center and that is equal to WL squared by 8. So that is WL squared by 8. The UDL over the entire span, maximum bending moment is at the center, in the middle point for a simply supported beam. So WL squared by 8. So over here also we calculate the weight, the self weight of the beam. Now calculating the self weight of the beam is the cross section dimension, the width, the overall depth. Please note the overall depth is effective depth plus the effective cover which has been given, the overall depth. So width, overall depth, width into overall depth into 25, all to be converted in meters. The width to be converted to meters, the depth, the overall depth to be converted to meters multiplied by 25, which is the unit weight of RCC in kilonewton per meter cube. So taking the width, the B, the capital D into 25, we get the answer as 2.875. So 2.875 multiplied by L squared, L is 4.5, we get the bending moment from the self weight of the beam, only from the self weight, which is UDL throughout the span, as 7.28 kilonewton meter. Please note the overall bending moment it can take, its internal resistance towards bending moment is 74.87, out of which the self weight bending moment is 7.28. Total is 74.87 and 7.28 is that from the self weight perspective. Now bending moment due to point loads at equal distance from either ends. This is given by the formula W into A. Now A is the distance from the support, from the nearest support to the point load. That is the distance. So the formula given is W into A. So bending moment due to point load at equal distance from the either end, W into that distance has been given to us as 1 meter. So bending moment due to point load at equal distance from the either end becomes equal to W, because W into 1 is W. Now moment of resistance is equal to bending moment from the self weight plus bending moment due to point load at either ends. There is a mistake over here, at either at 1 meter from the either supports. That's the one. So 74.87 is the moment of resistance, is equal to bending moment from the self weight is 7.28 plus bending moment due to point loads at equal distance from either ends is W. So that comes over here. Now 74.87, this 7.28 goes on the left hand side, becomes equal to, what remains over here is W. The difference between these two comes to 67.59. So now 67.59 is equal to W. Sorry, there is a mistake here. By mistake, that into 1.5 has appeared. It is only W. So W is equal to 67.59 kilonewton. It is only a typographical error in this case. So W is equal to 67.59 kilonewton. So the point loads which can be applied at 1 meter from the either ends is 67.59 kilonewton. From the left hand support and the right hand support, the point loads, the equal point loads which can be applied safely, the magnitude of them is 67.59 kilonewton. As discussed earlier, please note, this point load applied cannot be more than 67.59. In this case, it cannot be 67.6. Though the beam will not collapse, it is a tension controlled failure in this case. It is a ductile failure in this case. The steel will start yielding. We will be able to see the cracks. We will be able to see the deflection. The beam may not crack. Crack, when I say, the beam may not crack from the compression side. The beam may not collapse from the compression side, but the steel will start yielding. Small hairline cracks will start developing further, and the deflections will be we will be beginning to notice. So safe load which can be applied at 1 meter from either ends, I would recommend as 67.5 kilonewtons or say 67 kilonewtons. That would be much safer.